Travel back in time with a trip inside the Iowa's News Now vault.
This is where 5 hungry folk go for some sweet, tender snacking, free of charge. Outdoors, along abandoned roadsides, cultivated fields, state parks, forests, anywhere some plump, juicy berries are growing wild. Get permission first if you're on private property. Today, I went berry hunting with Manny Patterson, a volunteer with the Indian Creek Nature Center.
It's out here anytime you want it. In the midsummer is about the best time, Tom, for your wild edibles. And the berries are prolific this year. It's great.
We found red raspberries to be most prolific this time of year.
Ours rarely get beyond the bowl. We usually put them on fresh on cereals, or after supper we just make them in a dessert. You can use them in jams and pies if they last that long.
The mulberries, though, are not going to last that long. It's living out its final days this season, but blackberries are just now starting to reach their prime.
They're easy enough to pick, too. Not as big as the red raspberries, but they come close enough in clusters that you just pick them real easily. We probably picked, 4 or 5 quarts one day, probably ate 3 and made 2 pies. So.
Finally, it's always best to wash your berries before you eat them, especially if you found them near cultivated fields or abandoned roadsides. And it's always best to go out berry picking with someone who knows how to bake. Tom Eisen, the Newswatch Helping Hand, Cedar Rapids. Delicious.